sure I'm glad I brought my 40-foot cord.
Yes.
It's going to come in handy.
Well, you know, you are expected to walk out through the audience at some point.
Okay.
Welcome everybody. This is a respectable crowd for a Tuesday night. Thank you for coming. I'm Al Staehely. This is Freddie Steady Kirch.
Hi.
That's I call him Freddie KRC. He's my only friend that doesn't have a vowel in his last name, and that makes him just one of the things that makes him special.
Yeah, you're here for this.
Is that Tom over there? Okay, what we're doing, you know, Freddie, besides being a drummer that got him in the part of what got him in the Texas Music Hall of Fame, playing with Jerry Jeff Walker, with B.W. Stevenson, and sometimes slums it and plays with me when we did play with the band, is also singer and songwriter and has been in his own right through groups like the Explosives, the Shaken Apostles, and many more, and solo albums. And so what we're doing tonight is swapping songs and swapping stories that go with some of these songs. And tell you what, Freddie asked me to start it off. So, you know, songwriters, a lot of times people assume songwriters write a sad song when they're sad. That's understandable. A happy song when they're happy, well, that can happen too. But I've also found sometimes it might be a sad situation, but I'll write a song to try to cheer myself up. And at one point when, you know, I grew up in Austin, moved to LA in 71, joined a band called Spirit that some of you guys may remember. And in fact, I may do a couple of those later. But later on, during my time in LA, there was a sad moment where breaking up with a woman that I'd been with for a few years, and I was going back to the apartment to pick up the last of my things, and I said, you know, I just got a new song. Would you like to hear it? And she said, oh, well, I don't. I said, well, I'll play it for you. She probably thought it was going to be, you know, a Take Me Back song or I'm So Sad song. Instead, it was. Something good is going to happen. I can feel it in there. Something good is gonna happen. When it does, I'm gonna be there. 'Cause I can feel my luck changing, even though it ain't changed yet. My heart is like that wheel of fortune. Step right up, I'll take all bets. I bet I'll find a girl who loves me. We can't stand to be apart. We're gonna fly away together, wing to wing and heart to heart. 'Cause something good is gonna happen. I can feel it in the air. Something good is gonna happen. When it does, I'm gonna be there. This is where the solo would be if Scrappy was here. Well, I bet I'll find a girl who loves me. We can't stand to be apart. We're gonna fly away together, wing to wing and heart to heart. 'Cause something good is gonna happen. I can feel it in there. Something good is gonna happen. When it does, I'm gonna be there. Something good is gonna happen. When it does, I'm gonna be there. I can feel it in the air. Oh yes, she was not very amused. She was not a fan of that song, but it actually ended up though. After all those years, it's the first song on my most recent album called "Somewhere in West Texas." Just saying, you know.
So good evening, everybody. How's it going? I'm Freddie Staehely. And it's always great to get to play with Al, but today is kind of an extra special day for me, and I don't know if you guys celebrate this day or not. You know, it's not Flag Day. It's not Arbor Day. Who knows what day it is today? It's Sleepy Dusty Delta Day. It's the 3rd of June, another Sleepy Dusty Delta Day.
And where does that come from, and who celebrates that?
Well, the great Bobby Gentry does, Al.
Oh my goodness!
The
Okay.
day Billy Joe McAllister jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge.
That's
It
what
was
we're
the 3rd of June, another Sleepy Dusty Delta Day.
Okay. Thank you.
I was born on the Gulf Coast, crawl across the Brazos bottom land. I was born on the Gulf Coast, crawl across the Brazos bottom land. I used my rattlesnake necklace to string my alligator hands. I was taught hard work, told myself to jump and shout. I was taught hard work, but I told myself to jump and shout. Learn how to live like a king and how to do without. What you get ain't always what you see. Well, what you get ain't always what you see. I may look like a harmless grass snake, but don't you tread on me. Well, ain't it a pity got no one to light my fuse? Well, ain't it a pity got no one to light my fuse? I walk the streets of Hamburg City with the Austin, Texas blues. Thank you very much.
I've always liked that one. Fred, what album was that on?
I think it was called Frontier A Go-Go.
That was,
I hail from LaPorte, Texas, so it was kind of inspired by that, growing up down there. I know I'm channel trash, but we're proud of it.
in fact, you got some of those bulldogs here tonight.
There
right?
might be one or two here tonight. I think there are.
They're doing it on the down low, I can tell, right? Let's see. Well, okay, like I said, I went to LA in '71. Got lucky at first, joined in that band, the aforementioned band, and they were mostly living up in Topanga Canyon at that time, and the Andes brothers, Mark and Matt Andes, Matt, who ended up being in JoJo Gunn with his brother Mark, and Ed Cassidy, the drummer, and we rehearsed at his place in Topanga Canyon. And so one morning I was in Topanga Canyon at Matt's house, and this is exactly the way the morning went there. It's called Mellow Morning. Picking in the morning with my friend Matthew, drinking cowboy coffee and thinking of something to do. The cat's on the table, crying to be fed. I can't put this guitar down while there's a tune in my head. Stumped on the second verse, went up the driveway it came. Old friends of Matthews and Johnny Marsh were their names. A slap on the back and a hard handshake. Hey John, how you been? I lost my lady and my job last week, said John with a grin. Hey Matt, let's pay a call on Durwood Curly. Hop in the car, we'll head on down. Hope we're not too early, talking about things we're gonna do when our ship comes in. It's been a mellow morning, just the way every day should begin. It's been a mellow morning. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right.
So back in the late 80s, I was on tour over in London, England, and I was doing a radio show on BBC, and the DJ asked me about my last name, which, if you don't know me, it's Kirch. It's just spelled with 3 consonant letters, KRC. And he said, "What's the nationality?" And I said, "Czech." And he asked if I'd ever been. I said, "No, but I'd love to go." And the next night I was playing a show in London, and a woman showed up who said, "Hey, I heard you on the radio. I'm from Prague. Would you like to come over and play?" And so she got me in contact with a promoter over there. And I'm not sure if he misunderstood me, but I was thinking, if I got over there to play, wouldn't it be fun to record a song or two? And I kind of put that in the letter. It was still letters, no emails or anything. And he wrote back and said, "Yes, I spoke to Mr. Arbus at Superfon, which was the communist label, and we want you to come in a year from now and make this record, and we'll book you a tour," which I got really excited about. And then that revolution happened, in November '90. Anyway, but I went on over there and had a wonderful time, met the most wonderful people, had great experiences. I I ended up, they took me to the West Country. May 6, 1945 was a day, you didn't know you were going to get a history lesson tonight, did you? Was the day that Patton liberated Western Czechoslovakia. And May 6, 1990 was the first day they were able to celebrate. So it was a pretty big deal. And they took me out there to go perform on the town square, a little town called Sushitsa. And anyway, that was one of the towns, Sushitsa and Pilsen. Pilsen is where the Pilsner beer comes from. Anyway, they had me perform on the town square on a bill with our ambassador. So does anybody remember who our ambassador to the Czech Republic was back then? That's right, Miss Shirley Temple Black. I did a gig with Shirley Temple. It was my mother's proudest moment for me. But she did her speech in Czech, which is a pretty difficult language, you know, and I was very well carried. And it was, anyway, I went back over there on tour in 1997, and I just loved the place, and I always wanted to write a song about it. A friend of mine was on Facebook, and he referred to himself as a Bohemian. And I said, well, because my family comes from Bohemia, I'm a Bohemian with a capital B. And this girl wrote, you're a Bohemian dandy. I went, I'll have that. Okay.
That's me.
That's me. But I wanted to write those images of Prague. It's my favorite city in Europe. And here's some images from that. A song called Bohemian Dandy. Oh, I got to tell you before I start that I talk about going across the river. When I went back in 97, I stayed with a guy that had become my friend when I went over the first time. And he said, Saturday, you know, the Charles River runs through Prague and runs, of course, you know, out into the countryside. He lived out of town. He said, Saturday, we'll cross the river and I'll take you to a tavern where the gypsies sing and drink. And I went, okay. What he didn't tell me was we were going to walk across the frozen river. And I was terrified. I did it, but it was pretty scary. Anyway, that's part of this too. Take my hand and walk with me down ancient streets of cobblestone. Take my heart and you will see you'll never have to be alone. I'm salty as a sea, sweet as sugar candy. Won't you let me be your bohemian dandy? We'll stroll across the Charles Bridge to where the gypsies sing and drink and dance. I'll take along my mandolin, and by the tavern light I will seize my chance. I'm salty as a sea, sweet as sugar candy. Won't you let me be your bohemian dandy? May I summon the right words to tell you of my love for you? May the words compel you. You overtake my senses and you leave me defenseless. When the moon comes up over Old Town Square, by the Powder Tower I will wait as your perfume drifts through the evening air, and thoughts of you entice intoxicates. I'm salty as the sea, sweet as sugar candy. Won't you let me be your bohemian dandy? Take my hand and walk with me. Thank you very much.
Well, as long as we're on the, you got us over in Czechoslovakia. We're over there. Now let's go up to Scandinavia.
Okay.
This song written in Stockholm. Well, it's the middle of the night and I'm high again. The sun's still in my eye. Back home outside of Houston, there's a great big starry sky. When I see it again, I can't say when, 'cause 6,000 miles away. And that long-legged woman, she got me on the run. I'm living in the land of the midnight sun, but I can't help but wonder what she's doing tonight. I got a sharp little thing here in Stockholm, treats me a certain way. She loves to do what she does when I do what I do. We do it most every day. I love the way she talks, I love the way she walks, spike heels and cobblestone. But that long-legged woman, she got me on the run. I'm living in the land of the midnight sun, but I can't help but wonder what she's doing tonight. Yeah, long-legged woman got me on the run. I'm living in the land of the midnight sun. Said, can't help but wonder what she's doing tonight. Oh, well, it's summertime, the weather's fine. I can't say I miss the heat. But there's a reckless Texas woman, and when she drives, she can be beat. Well, there's a lighthouse in the harbor, red subs are down there too. And for the very first time, I'm seeing things clear as Baltic blue. I got so much love and so many wonderful women to get to. But that long-legged woman, she got me on the run. I'm living in the land of the midnight sun, but I can't help but wonder what she's doing tonight. Yeah, long-legged woman got me on the run. I'm living in the land of the midnight sun. Said, hey mama, is it safe to come back? Oh baby, is it safe to come back? Hey mama, is it safe to come back home? Got me on the run. I'm living in the land of the midnight sun. Long-legged woman got me on the run. I'm living in the land of the midnight sun. Long-legged woman, long-legged woman, long-legged woman. Well, long-legged woman, that long-legged woman, she got me on the run. I'm living in the land of the midnight sun. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Do you guys know what a damper is? Like a damper on a heater, an old coal stove or something? I used to have those on the stoves on the old trains. It's a song called Dear Delilah, Turn Your Damper Down. Well, I ain't much to look at, but I can get your wagon up the hill. Well, I ain't much to look at, but I can get your wagon up the hill. If you let me love you, baby, I can guarantee a thrill. And when you get good loving, try not to act so surprised. When you get good loving, try not to act so surprised. 'Cause if you read my label, you'll see I come as advertised. Dear Delilah, dear Delilah, Your parlor feels like paradise. Why would I ever want to go? Dear Delilah, dear Delilah, dear Delilah, won't you turn your damper down? I have only myself to blame. I let you set my soul on fire. Since I met you, I ain't been the same. Dear Delilah, you're my heart's desire. If you step out with Delilah, keep your money in your shoe. If you step out with Delilah, keep your money in your shoe. Because Delilah is a sporting girl, and she knows a trick or two. Dear Delilah, dear Delilah, dear Delilah, won't you turn your damper down? Now listen, I keep my blade sharp, I keep my shoes tight, I keep my fingers crossed, I keep my powder dry. If you think I'm not equipped to get the job done, step to me and I'll show you how the West was won. Dear Delilah, dear Delilah, dear Delilah, won't you turn your damper down? Dear Delilah, won't you turn your damper down? Thank you very much, dear Delilah.
All right, Freddie. You know, one of my favorite Spirit songs was written by Randy California, the original guitar player for Spirit, and who died in Hawaii. He and his son were out, and I think in the surf in Molokai, and got caught in an undertow, and he was able to save his son, but he died. And he wrote this great song that probably wrote it around 69 or 70, and I'd say it's probably at least as relevant now as it was then.
It's nature's way of telling you something's wrong. It's nature's way of telling you in a song. It's nature's way of receiving you. It's nature's way of retrieving you. It's nature's way of telling you something's wrong. It's nature's way of telling you in a breeze. It's nature's way of telling you dying trees. something's wrong. It's nature's way, it's nature's way. It's nature's way, it's nature's way. It's nature's way of receiving you. It's nature's way of retrieving you. It's nature's way of telling you something's wrong. Something's wrong. Something's wrong.
Yes. Yes. Is there anyone out there? Do you now, or have you ever lived in Austin? Anybody?
Yeah.
You have? Yeah, I know. You can raise your hand. It's okay. I moved there in 1974, and I moved away a few years ago. Not far to Buda, you know. But I never thought I would leave the city limits. I lived right in the middle of town, Riverside and 35. Thought I'd never leave, but you guys have noticed. I mean, if you've gone there to visit, that it's grown a little bit, right? I mean, you know, I thought I knew what the state bird was. Does anybody? Well, it was. I think it's the crane, because that's all I see downtown now. I'm just saying. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Anyway, when I was moving out of town, it really got me thinking about the city, and I still love the place, but it's different. And I wanted to write something about those feelings, and so this song is called "The Girl Who Wore the Violet Crown," and the girl who wore the violet crown could be literally about a girl, or it could be about the city of Austin, and it's up to you. I mean, I'll just sing it. My world stood still first time I saw her. She shined like the jewels in the gown of a European queen. How my heart was filled with her beauty, charm, and wonder. She was the prettiest thing my eyes had ever seen. She was mine but for a while, the girl who wore the violet crown. She gained it all, but she lost her smile, the girl who wore the violet crown. I fell in line with all the others, princes, dukes, dandies, fops, and fools, who thought they had the means to win her favor. Her heart received them all, but her heart could not be true. She was mine but for a while, the girl who wore the violet crown. She gained it all, but she lost her smile, the girl who wore the violet crown. She lost herself somewhere along the way, letting those with wealth and power hold her in their sway. They used her and abused her and always had their say. They laughed and watched her worth and all her beauty fade away. She used to promenade so proudly up Congress Avenue. Now she slips through the shadows of some side street. She used to bring the sunshine when she came into view. Now all she brings is sadness every time we meet. She was mine but for a while, the girl who wore the violet crown. She gained it all but she lost her smile, the girl who wore the violet crown. La 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 la. Thank you.
Hey, Freddie, I heard that you're writing a book.
I am writing a book.
Well, is it too early to, is it bad luck to mention it?
No, it's not bad luck.
Well,
I'm writing a kind of a autobiography how-to book with some hopefully amusing anecdotal stories about this crazy business of show.
well,
So, shall I share a
I
short
think-
story? Okay.
please do, Freddie.
I've been the last couple of gigs I've done, I've read a few excerpts, and I didn't bring anything to read, but I know this story by heart. It was so interesting. I used to have a rock band called the Explosives, and thank you. And we were active from 1979 to 82, and we used to play the Continental Club in Austin a lot, and I lived behind the Continental in those rundown bungalows called the Willie Arms. Willie Nelson owned them. Anyway, we were playing the Continental Club one night, and a friend of ours came backstage and said, "Hey, Arthur Brown is here. He's just moved to town. Do you guys remember him, the god of hellfire? And he brought you fire." Da, da, da. I bring Arthur Brown, the god of hellfire, was there. And he said, "Would you guys mind if he does a song with you?" And we went, "Great," you know, because all three of us in that band knew all that stuff. So he went to go get Arthur Brown, and I'm excited as a little schoolboy. And we all look at each other. You all know Fire, right? That was his big hit. Yeah. So he comes backstage, and we meet him, and we said, "Well, do you want to do Fire?" He said, "No, I don't think so tonight." We said, "Well, what do you want to do?" He said, "Do you guys know Would You Like to Swing on a Star?" And I'm thinking, did that out-weird the weirdest Keep Austin weird guy that you ever heard? And went, okay, and that's what we did. We went out and did Would You Like to Swing on a Star with the God of Hellfire.
Okay, Fred, now that you've invoked the god of hellfire and Arthur Brown, I've got something to add. And I can tell some of you drew a blank when the song Fire, but it starts like this. "I am the god of hellfire, and I bring you fire. Dun, dun, dun. I beg you to burn." Anyway, if you don't remember that,
Does anybody remember that he wore a metal helmet with real fire coming out of the top of it?
yes.
I think you'd remember that if you'd seen it, right? Probably.
What's that? Well, okay, look, I actually saw this performance of his with the Flaming Helmet in New York in the summer of 1969. That's right, in Woodstock summer. Not at Woodstock, but in the Schaefer Beer concerts in the park at Wallman Rink. Arthur Brown, his flaming headdress. Now, if you would have told me then, someday you will get, Arthur Brown he was from England, by the way. Arthur Brown will be living in Austin. Your kids will be playing together, and you'll get him a job painting your mother's house. I would have said, Okay, you're a bad fortune teller. Yeah.
So Al, who was his partner in his painting?
Well, here's the thing. This was at, not the zenith of his career, but he married a woman from San Antonio. They moved in Austin, and contrary to his theatrical image, they were vegetarians. They were very mild people. So it doesn't surprise me that he wanted to sing. Let me swing on. Would you like to sing on this one? But he started. He was painting houses to make some money during the day, but he was starting a group with. Those of you who remember Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention. You might remember the one that looked like an Indian. Jimmy Carl Black, the drummer. Well, Jimmy Carl Black moved to Austin, and we're trying to form a band, but Arthur had this doing the painting thing, so he got Jimmy Carl Black into it, and the name of their painting company was called Gentlemen of Color. And so my mother, I was living in Houston at that time. My mother in Austin, who was like a 5'2" Southern belle from Birmingham, Alabama, said, Al, she called me, the front of my house really needs painting. Do you have any idea? I said, I've got just the painters for you. So I get the Gentleman of Color, the gig, painting my mother's house. And one of my big regrets in life is I have no documentation of this. I should have taken pictures. I should have gotten a video camera, because she's telling me, I said, well, how? After they had been there about a week, I said, how's it going? Well, they're very good, and I know, Arthur's an Englishman. I know they like tea at 4 o'clock, so I always bring them in at 4 o'clock. I make tea, and Arthur sits at my little pump organ and plays and sings to me.
Oh my God.
The God of Hellfire. Okay. I don't have any song that can top that, I don't think. Ice on Fire. Oh, okay, there you go. We've got a theme going here, okay.
She's like ice on fire. She's like ice on fire. She's like ice on fire. She melts you with desire, but soon it'll be your turn to feel the slow burn. Soon it'll be your turn to feel the slow burn. She's like ice on fire. She's like ice on fire. She blows hot and cold. She moves you real slow. She won't let go until she feels the glow. Like a moth flying to the flame, you got so much to learn. About the slow burn, 'cause soon it'll be your turn to feel the slow burn. Smoke in my eyes, tears that I cry, freeze as they fall, and break in the night like ice. She's like ice on fire. Call me a liar, but soon it'll be your turn to feel the slow burn. It's such a slow burn. It's such a slow, sweet burn. It's such a slow, sweet burn. She's like ice on fire. She's like ice. I am the God of health.
And he brings you ice on fire. Bring you. So is that on air sign? Are we like? Is that streaming or is this performance? It is?
Don't tell him it's really. No, he might get nervous. No, we're streaming, baby.
I haven't been on the internet before with my clothes on. This is really cool. I'm liking this. Yeah. So back in the late 70s, I was telling you about my old rock band, The Explosives, and we played the Continental Club on South Congress. I lived right behind the Continental Club, and one night, one of the club owners said, "Hey, I'm having a party." He lived about 8 blocks south of the club off of Congress. "Why don't you come over?" And I said, "Well, I don't have a car right now." And he said, "Well, just ride with me." So I rode with him, and the party was rocking. Everyone was having a great time. The next thing I knew, the sun had been up for a couple of hours, and I realized it was probably time to get back home, and I didn't have a car. So I had to take that walk. It was summer. It was about 100 degrees out. I had black leather pants, black shirt, black shoes, black everything, cool cat this, and I'm walking down Congress, and I'm not feeling really great. And I'm walking down the street, and something in a store window caught my eye, and I looked over, and ah! And it scared the hell out of me, and I realized it was me. It was my reflection. And God, that didn't happen too often back then, but it inspired this song. It's a song called Muchacho Borracho. Muchacho Borracho, staggering down the street, gets a nervous sideways glance from everyone he meets. His reflection in the storefront window is there for all to see. Muchacho Borracho looks a lot like me. I remember back in high school, I asked Tina to the dance. I thought that I was in like Flynn, but I never had a chance. Instead, she went with my best friend. Man, it really brought me down. So I climbed inside a bottle and took a long, hard look around. Muchacho Borracho, staggering down the street, gets a nervous sideways glance from everyone he meets. His reflection in the storefront window is there for all to see. Muchacho Borracho looks a lot like me. I'm the king of conservation. I never leave a drop to waste. I drink all those tequila shots just because I like the taste. Birthdays, New Year's, wedding toast, a political debate. There was not an occasion that I would not celebrate. Muchacho Borracho, staggering down the street, gets a nervous sideways glance from everyone he meets. His reflection in the storefront window is there for all to see. Muchacho Baracho looks a lot like me. Muchacho Baracho looks a lot like me. Thank you very much.
You always put me in a love trance. It always starts with a slow dance, teaching me about true romance. My baby puts me in a love trance. No toys, no tricks, no fancy lingerie. She keeps it simple when she comes to play. All she needs is some time away. Time to put me in a love trance. Always puts me in a love trance. Always starts with a real slow dance, teaching me about true romance. My baby puts me in a love trance. Sometimes she dances to the radio, giving me a little private show for me to see, not for you to know. My baby puts me in a love trance. She always puts me in a love trance. It always starts with a real slow dance, teaching me about true romance. My baby puts me in a love trance. I don't know or care how she does it, as long as she never stops. All I know is when she does what she does, I just can't get enough, and I go deep into a love trance. Love trance. Love trance. Love trance. She always puts me in a love trance. It always starts with a real slow dance, teaching me about true romance. My baby puts me in a love trance. I never ever really had a chance. You always put me in a love trance. That's off the recent album I was telling you about, the aforementioned album. If you guess where we have it, it's right back there.
What?
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Tonight? They're right back there?
Yeah, I don't know how they appeared. What you got for us?
It's a song from a record I made some years ago called Tucson. It went along with a 19th century Western short story. This is a song called Paint by Numbers World.
that separate the wrong from right. There's no place to paint in gray, but only black and white. And circumstance is a sketch at best in the judgment of a crime. And accusers paint in broad strokes, hiding detail from the eye. Could you picture me your gentleman, and you could be my bride? And on a horse-drawn carriage, together we could ride to a place where judgment of the finished work is safely left to the one who sees beyond technique to the human element. We could walk through sunlit meadows or sail an emerald sea, like in those paintings by the masters that you once described to me. Finding freedom as the painter's brushstroke colors start to swirl, 'cause there's no place left for you and me in this paint by numbers world. When your thoughts run back to me on some sleepless night, paint yourself a picture of when everything was right, of a time we were so innocent and all that came before. I was painted in a corner and left to wonder just what for. We could walk through sunlit meadows or sail an emerald sea, like in those paintings by the masters that you once described to me. Finding freedom as the painter's brushstroke colors start to swirl, 'cause there's no place left for you and me in this paint by numbers world. There's no place left for you and me in this paint by numbers world.
Thank you.
That's a very nice song, Freddie. That's very. Okay. But I started the show with kind of a sad love story, a happy song, an optimistic song flowing from a sad love story. Well, I've got another turning lemons into lemonade for you here. Driving down from Austin to Houston once, this was some years ago, with the woman I thought I loved sitting next to me, and I turned to her and told her so, and she turned to me and said, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "Are you saying what's wrong with you for loving me?" And she said, "Yeah, I guess I am." And I thought, well, okay, I guess this is not really going to be something for my future, but I love that title, "What's Wrong with You for Loving Me?" And it's on my recent album. Oh, what's wrong with you for loving me? When you've seen how crazy I can be, the only flaw in you that I can see is what's wrong with you for loving me.
you'll find there's a wine that comes from France, and your mind is full of common sense. Well, you're right as rain about every little thing. The only flaw in you I see is what's wrong with you for loving me. I'm loving large, baby, when you call my name. I don't care much about fortune or fame. Loving you is what I do best. I can't seem to get a handle on all the rest of what's wrong with you for loving me. Well, my love for you is a runaway train. Well, it's that big old powerful thing that keeps me sane. I don't care where it's going, long as I get to ride. I blow my own whistle too. But what's right with me is loving you. Oh, what's right with me is loving you. Oh, what's right with me is loving you.
Thank you, friends and neighbors. Mighty proud to be here tonight.
Okay, so is there anybody here from LaPorte tonight? Okay. Come on, you guys. We're usually so loud. Yeah, nice. Okay. But you're probably, I don't think you're old enough to know this place that was down at the end of Main Street, Ernie's Barbecue, where Ernie made barbecue and book. We found out later. Yeah, he had a budding enterprise down there at the end of Main Street. But I've got a rock and roll mother that comes to. She's been very supportive over all the years. And you guys know who Rocky Erickson is? Anybody? 13th Floor Elevators. Well, my band, The Explosives, played with Rocky for a total of about 7 years. And we were playing. This was back in probably 80 or 81, and we were going to play a place called The Island here in Houston by the old Sears building on Main Street. Anyway, we were going to stay at my parents' house. And I said, now, Mom, this is that guy that, that I love these guys who's 34 Elevators when I was in junior high and high school, loved them. And now he writes songs now about outer space and monsters and demons, but he's not a devil worshiper. He just writes, it's kind of a childlike fascination. So don't worry about it, So we went and did a sound check. We got back to my parents' house. Mom had made us dinner, and she went over to Rocky and said, I brought you some deviled eggs. So, as you can see, I didn't have a chance of not being a wise guy. That's how I grew up. Anyway, I would write a song like the one I just did before, Paint by Numbers World. I'd play that for my mom, tear out little strips of my soul and place them there in front of her, and she'd go, that's really nice. Now, why don't you write one of those fun, funny songs that people like? Well, I'll try. So this is for Mama. If you're a country guy, you got to do something for Mama. So this is mine. Song called Chopped Beef.
Chopped beef on white bread, wash it down with a red drink. Chopped beef on white bread, wash it down with a red drink. I don't need everything but the kitchen sink. Just chopped beef, white bread, red drink. Go and get yourself a country girl in a fresh pressed light blue cotton dress. Put on some slacks and a nice shirt, but don't wear white 'cause you might make a mess when sometime nothing else will do, and you gotta have chopped beef barbecue. A chopped beef on white bread, wash it down with a red drink. Chopped beef on white bread, Wash it down with a red drink. I don't need everything but the kitchen sink. Just chopped beef, white bread, red drink. Down at the end of Main Street, there's a little place called Ernie's Place. That's the spot where we all meet. You're sure to find a familiar face. They got the tenderest brisket you'll ever chew. I'm talking about chopped beef barbecue. The chopped beef on white bread. Wash it down with a red drink. Chopped beef on white bread. Wash it down with a red drink. I don't need everything but the kitchen sink. Just chopped beef, white bread, red drink. Potato salad, beans and slaw, that's what some folks desire. But all those things and a big dessert is not what I require. What is it? Chopped beef on white bread. Wash it down with a red drink. Chopped beef on white bread. Wash it down with a red drink. I don't need everything but the kitchen sink. Just chopped beef, white bread, red drink. Man, I'm talking about chopped beef, white bread, red drink.
I wish we knew your mama was watching right now. We're on the air. Okay, back in 1980, I guess it was, well, I did 2 tours of Europe in the 80s with John Cipollina. Some of you may know him from Quicksilver Messenger Service. And Nick Gravenitis, who's a famous blues... well, he wrote Born in Chicago that Paul Butterfield did, and he wrote songs that Janis Joplin did. In fact, he wrote a song kind of prophetic called Buried Alive in the Blues that Janis's band recorded it that night. She was supposed to come back the next day to put the vocal on, and she didn't make it to the next day. And apparently the band and the producers thought it was such an appropriate song, they left the song on there with no vocal. But anyway, not trying to bum people out.
Well, Al,
yeah,
he wrote
Freddie.
another song that's one of my all-time favorites.
What would that be, Freddie?
Called "I'll Fix Your Flat Tire Merle." Do you remember that?
I'll
Fix your flat tire Merle. Don't want you to get your guitar pick and fingers all covered in Earl.
That's right, he did.
That was his too. It was a great song.
He wrote a lesser-known song.
What?
He wrote a lesser-known song called "The Herpes Blues" that had the line, "I've got swellings like Mount St. Helens." I'm sorry I had to say that, but
Can you believe that didn't top the charts?
no. I'm not sure he ever recorded it, but he actually did it in concert a couple of times. Well, at any rate, on that one of those tours in Germany, we noticed this. We were doing one-nighters, and there was this girl who stood right in front of the stage. She was all by herself, and I think it was Munich, and then the next night, Frankfurt. There she was. Next night, somewhere. And we were wondering, what's the deal with her? I mean, she doesn't seem to be with anybody. She's not trying to meet the band, but she's showing up in these different cities. So John Cipollina decided to find out what her story was, and she worked in a bank in Berlin and wanted to be a singer, and she loved Janis Joplin and Billie Holiday, and she had a week off, a week vacation, and she liked the kind of music we were doing and decided just to follow us around for that week. And so like so many people who have regular jobs would like to be out there singing, I thought I'd write a song about that kind of person. I took a little poetic license, moved her to Texas, and but this one's called "She's a Time Bomb," or something like that. So I could do it again, but it'd probably be the same. An ex-major red and leather, red and miniskirt and boots. 65 style was coming back in 92. Working for the bank, but she'd rather sing the blues. She digs Billie Holiday, Janis Joplin too. She's a time bomb, about to explode. She's a time bomb, nobody knows. She's a time bomb. A tick-tock, tick-tock, you can hear her brain ticking like a cheap alarm clock. A junior vice president in charge of small loans dropped his calculator when she walked into the room. She was everything he'd wanted since he left the boys' school. His interest rate was rising, it was hard to keep his cool. She's a time bomb, about to explode. She's a time bomb, nobody knows. She's a time bomb. A tick-tock, tick-tock, you can hear her brain ticking like a cheap alarm clock. Let me try that again. They made a date for dinner, there was candlelight and wine. Shared their hopes and fears, they were both feeling fine. An American Express green card paid the bill. His 2-year-old Toyota took him home across the hill. She's a time bomb, about to explode. She's a time bomb, nobody knows. She's a time bomb. A tick-tock, tick-tock, you can hear her brain ticking like a cheap alarm clock. It was a simple ceremony on a sunny day in June. The bride had butterflies as she stood next to her groom. Till death do us part, he shouted loud and clear. But when it came her turn, she stuttered and her eye there was a tear. He got a quick promotion, another came real soon. He had everything he wanted, except a son to leave it to. Told his wife, let's make a baby. Much to his surprise, she said, I love you, but I'm leaving. A rock and roll goodbye. She's a time bomb, about to explode. She's a time bomb, nobody knows. She's a time bomb. A tick-tock, tick-tock, you can hear her brain ticking like a cheap alarm clock. Last seen in Austin, Texas, fronting her own band. Last seen in Austin, Texas, fronting her own band. At the Continental Club, there was barely room to stand. Living out her fantasy like everybody should. Now I hear she's 31, she's talking motherhood. She's a time bomb, about to explode. She's a time bomb, and nobody knows. She's a landmine, you better watch your step. She's a wild kind that can be kept. She's a time bomb. A tick-tock, tick-tock, you can hear her brain ticking like a cheap alarm clock. She's a time bomb.
That was some good lead guitar, Al. I don't get up on the dusty end of my neck on my guitar.
Every once in a while I get it. You know, it's like playing golf and you get that one good shot that one time and you think you can do it again and you can't do it.
The redbird sings when he's happy. The bluebird sings when he's blue. But the mockingbird sings all the time. It's all he knows to do. In the morning the redbird rises and greets each day with a song. He knows the world belongs to him. All is right and never wrong. The sun shines always upon him, and a breeze blows true 'neath his wings. Both nature and heaven on high rejoice with every song he sings. The redbird sings when he's happy. The bluebird sings when he's blue. But the mockingbird sings all the time. It's all he knows to do. The bluebird warbles at midnight. By the moonlight he puts on a show. He sings a lament for his lady love he lost so long ago. His voice carries over the canyon. Each note brings a sadness to all. Yet the song he sings of his broken heart is like a clarion call. The redbird sings when he's happy. The bluebird sings when he's blue. But the mockingbird sings all the time. It's all he knows to do. The mockingbird sings his songs of joy and all the sorrow that he knows, all the laughter, all the tears that follow him everywhere he goes. The redbird sings when he's happy. The bluebird sings when he's blue. But the mockingbird sings all the time. It's all he knows to do.
Thank you, the Mockingbird.
I bet your mother liked that one, even though it wasn't funny, Freddie.
I know, yes.
That's
Yeah.
a good song.
That one passed.
That one passed? Okay. Everybody's into Laurel Canyon these days and revisiting Laurel Canyon. Here's a song from my Laurel Canyon days.
We were wide-eyed and innocent. Ooh, we wanted too much too soon. We were wide-eyed and innocent.
Oh, baby, in the soft pale light of a sweet summer moon.
When you first hit town, you had a smooth face and a clean slate. But now they're both etched deep with lines. Oh, blue-eyed ambitious, and the world looked so delicious. But you went back for seconds too many times. But we were wide-eyed and innocent. Ooh, we wanted too much too soon. We were wide-eyed and innocent.
Oh, baby, in the soft pale light of a sweet summer moon. We fell in love in the soft pale light of a sweet summer moon.
We used to see jaded dreamers who'd been stepped on one too many times. Who you could not understand how they could be so weak. Oh, but Now your slip is showing and your soul is slipping down into the streets. And your smile so rusty, baby, I can almost hear it squeak. But we were wide-eyed and innocent. Oh, we wanted too much too soon. We were wide-eyed and innocent, oh baby, in the soft pale light of a sweet summer moon. We were wide-eyed and innocent. Lord knows we wanted too much too soon. We were wide-eyed and innocent, oh baby, in the soft pale light of a sweet summer moon. Ooh, we fell in love in the soft pale light of a sweet summer moon. Oh, baby, we always wanted a little too much too soon.
Still a favorite of mine. Thank you, Freddie. Send this one out to all of you from me. Said, hey, hey, baby, do you wanna go with me? Said, hey, hey, baby, do you wanna go with me? Down to Houston, Texas for a Gulf Coast jamboree. Let's go down to Galveston, I wanna dip my toe in the warm, salty water of the Gulf of Mexico. Shrimp dinner and a cold drink at the Classic Cafe. We're gonna let the good time roll, may we bon ton roulette. Hey, hey, baby, do you wanna go with me? Said, hey, hey, baby, do you wanna go with me? Down to Houston, Texas for a Gulf Coast jamboree. Step on the gas, turn up the radio, dial it in, KPFT, go man go. I need some country blues and Zydeco, and would it be a sin rocking with Roy Head, Archie Bell, and Barbara Lynn? Hey, hey, baby, do you wanna go with me? Said, hey, hey, baby, do you wanna go with me? Down to Houston, Texas for a Gulf Coast jamboree. Racing up I-45, that's how I get my kicks. Tearing up 225 and down 146. I said, hey, hey, baby, do you wanna go with me? Said, hey, hey, baby, do you wanna go with me? Down to Houston, Texas for a Gulf Coast jamboree. I said, down to Houston, Texas for a Gulf Coast jamboree. Hey! Thank you, Gulf Coast Jamboree.
It's a song I wrote that Marty Balin from the Jefferson Airplane did on one of his solo albums. It was written by the shores of Austin, Lake Austin, actually. Yeah, I did write it. Yeah, it was written by the family called the Shores. Yes, it was. No. Okay, now.
Sorry.
The mood is broken. It's a. I'm at the mercy of the moon. She can take me where she will. Run me ragged, stand me still, turn me cold to make me swoon. I'm at the mercy of the moon. And tonight I see the light pouring down all over you. And as the dew begins to fall and your lips begin to call, I'm in too deep now to refuse. You say you love me, and I know that tonight you really do. But tomorrow comes too soon, and you'll sing another tune, and you'll find somebody new. But tonight we're at the mercy of the moon. She can take us where she will, run us ragged, stand us still, turn us cold to make us swoon. We're at the mercy of the moon. And if I could freeze this frame, this shows your body close to mine, I would give up this fight for fame and forget that your last name is his instead of mine. I'm at the mercy of the moon. You're at the mercy of the moon. We're at the mercy of the moon.
So this next song, I've got some musician friends out here tonight that I'll explain this to. This song was originally done I wrote it in 1984, but I'm going to do it in 4/4 tonight. Yeah. I'm here all week trying to fish. Anyway, back in the mid-'70s, in fact, I was thinking Al and I have been friends. It'll be 50 years next year. We've been buddies. Yeah. no. Al and I met, Al was playing bass for Chris Hillman, who from the Byrds, and I was playing drums for B.W. Stevenson. You remember him, My Maria, Shambhala? We were both really little when we were doing yeah. But we played a festival at Louisville Speedway outside of, we're in Louisville, yeah. And that was 1976. But back in those days, when I was with BW, they used to send us to a place in Cankton, Louisiana, outside of Lafayette, called Jay's Lounge and Cockpit. Does anybody remember it? Anybody ever go? You did? Dance hall in the front, cockfights in the back. And every night, Jay's wife, Marie, would fix a dish called Loser's Gumbo and serve it to the bands. Don't be groaning about It was pretty good. I tried it, I ate it, and the only mistake I made one night was I looked in the pot, and I saw bones of something. I don't know if it flew or walked on the ground. I couldn't identify the bone. I just stir it up and eat it, and I just had. It was good. But it was a pretty wonderful place. If you were there, you remember it. Nobody knew it was politically incorrect for the cockfights and stuff. They were having a pretty big time back there. A song called Loser's Gumbo.
Well, if you go to Jay's Lounge and Cockpit, man, you'd better not take your gun, 'cause you might be forced to use it, all in the name of fun. The band will be rocking that Zydeco, people dancing on a hardwood floor. If you're a gambling man, you can bet on the Birds, but wait, let me tell you more. You'll eat the best bowl of Loser's Gumbo that you will ever get at Jay's Lounge and Cockpit in Louisiana at Lafayette. Well, Terrell Joe Thibodeau asked a pretty little girl to dance. The girl said no. He hung his head down low, stuck his hands in the pockets of his pants. He pulled a flask out of the pocket and took himself a shot of pride. Said, girl, I give you the floor to be on that dance floor, and I will not be denied. You'll eat the best bowl of Loser's Gumbo that you will ever get at Jay's Lounge and Cockpit in Louisiana at Lafayette. Marie's in the back cooking gumbo with a mess of red beans and rice. Put in some fighting birds, some things I never heard of at hot Louisiana spice. Hey! So if you go to Jay's Lounge and Cockpit, man, you'd better not take your gun, 'cause you might be forced to use it, all in the name of fun. Bird in Abbeville can fix an alligator tail beyond compare, but if you get that Cankton Creole Delight, I'd have to call you a Lucky Pierre. You'll eat the best bowl of Loser's Gumbo that you will ever get at Jay's Lounge and Cockpit in Louisiana at Lafayette. At Jay's Lounge and Cockpit in Louisiana at Lafayette.
Thank you very much. Hey, I sang about a character in that last verse, Bird in Abbeville. Does anybody know who Bobby Charles is? He was a swamp pop star. He wrote Walking to New Orleans, See You Later, Alligator, Don't Know Why I Love You, But I Do. Anyway, later in the 70s, when I was playing with Jerry Jeff Walker, we were going to record some of Bobby's songs, and so we went out to his house and hung out for 3 or 4 days. He lived outside of Abbeville. This was 1977. There wasn't a lot of sleeping going on in 77, but when there was, they had hammocks hanging in the trees all the way around the house. You just go flop in a hammock for a while. And the last night we had to go do a show somewhere. Can't remember exactly where, but it was close enough that we could do the show and come back to Bobby's house. We got back about probably 5 or 6 in the morning, and his friend Bird had fixed a section of alligator tail for us. And has anybody had alligator tail? Yes, and it doesn't taste like chicken, does it? It tastes like alligator tail. It's good. It's kind of textured like turkey meat. And anyway, you know, I don't think it's an endangered species anymore, but it was back then. And he was telling me about his friend that was trapping gators out in the swamp. He said the game warden came on him and said, now, you know this isn't legal, and I'm going to have to write you up, but what does alligator tail taste like? And the guy said, it's kind of a cross between spotted owl and bald eagle. I'm just telling you what the guy said. I didn't say it. Al?
Well, you know, the old clock in the wall tells us it's just about time to. You know, I want to thank all y'all coming out for a Tuesday night. I know you got to go. Some of you have to go to work in the morning. Maybe some of you have to go to school. You look like youngins. We're going to end it up here with a song. It's the song on my recent album, written by a buddy of mine and a buddy of Freddie's, called Phil Lee. A guy named Phil Lee. You ought to look him up. He's a character. He's a great songwriter, and this I couldn't help but want to record one of his songs, and this is it. It's called Night in the Box. It's for anybody who's ever spending time in a trailer, and you don't have to admit it, but after this song, you may want to go spend some time in a trailer. I got a little place out on Highway 10. You got to duck your head when you walk in. Walk 3 steps and lay down flat. Girl, the little box is where it's at. Everybody knows you trailer rocks. Don't you want to spend a night in the box? Well, it ain't much, but I call it home. It's got a microwave and a telephone. No room to fight or disagree. No room to do nothing but hug and kiss on me. Everybody knows this trailer rocks. Don't you want to spend a night in the box? Well, all the folks roll into trailer parks. They got nasty little young'uns, cars on blocks. No need to be so snobby or be unkind. A night in the box is gonna change your mind. There was a little lady, she lived on the hill. She had an aeroplane and an iron will. She had a rich old man with lots of cash. She looked down her nose at the trailer trash. She had $1 million in blue chip stocks and threw it all away for a night in the box. Yeah! This is really where the solo would be if we had the band in. Go, Scrappy. That sound like I know where you got that solo from. Cinnamon Girl from Neil Young. It was, I think, a 1-note solo. Was this a hard luck story? No, it's not. I got a place to hide when things get hot. I got a place to lurk when things get bleak. Lots of nosy neighbors and they want to peek, but they don't come a knocking when the trailer rocks. Don't you want to spend a night in the box? It's got a lot of soul and it smells like socks. Don't you want to spend a night in the box? Ah, yeah.
Out Staehely.
Yeah. Freddie, steady curves. Thank you. Thanks so much. Hey, sure. Let's give the big bow.
Okay. Ready?
you hear my back go out?
Here's the way Tony Bennett always did it. Now, wait a minute, because we might have to, you know how they make us do sometimes, I don't know.